A Gift of Chappals story written by Vasantha Surya. It highlights the innocence and generosity of children.
A smiling Rukumani, mother of Ravi and Meena, opened the door. Ravi and Meena rushed out, and then Ravi pulled Mr. cousins of Ravi and Meena, into the house. "Wait, let me take off my slippers," protested Midhu. "Now you can listen story, in different languages." Change the audio track, back to the story. Mindu placed slippers neatly beside a large dusty pair of black slippers, marked with clear toe impressions. The big toe marks were long and thin. Mr. didn't have much time to wonder about whose slippers they were, because Ravi dragged her to the backyard, behind a thick bitterberry bush. Inside a torn football filled with sand and covered with sacking, a tiny kitten drinking milk from a coconut shell. "We found him outside the gate this morning. He was mewing and mewing, poor cat," said Meena. "It's a secret. Amma says Pati, grandmother, will leave for our Padu Mama's house if she knows we have a cat. People are always telling us to be kind to animals, but when we are, they scream. Ooh, don't bring that dirty creature here," said Ravi. "Meena, do you know how hard it is just to get a little milk from the kitchen? Pati, grandmother, saw me with a glass in my hand. I told her I'm very hungry. I want to drink it. But the way she looked at me, I had to drink most of it to avoid suspicion. Then she wanted the tumbler back. Pati, I'll wash it myself. Why should I put you to trouble?" I told her. I had to run and pour the milk into this coconut shell and then run back and wash the tumbler and put it back before she became very doubtful. Now we have to think of some other way to feed Mahendran. "Mahendran? This little kitty's name is Mahendran?" Mr. was impressed. It was a real nameno, just a cute kitty cat name. Actually, his full name is Mahendra Varma Pallava Punai. MP Punai for short if you like, said Ravi. "He's a fine breed of cat. Just look at his fur. Like a lion's mane. You know the symbol of the old Pallava kings, right?" Ravi asking to Mrindu Meru laughed. "You think I'm kidding? Just wait. I'll show you. It's clear you don't know a thing about history. Haven't been to Mahabalipuram, have you?" he said mysteriously. "Well, when our class went to Mahabalipuram, I saw a statue of his thathas, etc. Means etc. Fact is, Mahendran here is descended from that very same ancient cat. A close relative, scientifically speaking, of none other than the lion, the Pallavalian, emblem of the Pallava dynasty. This cat is a descendant of none other than the Mahabalipuram Rishi cat, and if I may just remind you, they worshipped cats in ancient Egypt. How he loved the sound of his own voice." Meena and Mr. looked at each other, puzzled. "So what? Mrindu, no goddess. That's it. Stop it, Ravi."
Mr. quietly walked to the window. Lalli was sitting a little far away, struggling to hold her violin and bow properly. Her elbows stuck out awkwardly, and she looked very focused. In front of her was the thin music teacher, facing mostly away from the window. He had very little hair on his head, except for a few oiled black strands around his ears and a small tuft at the back. A gold chain shone around his wrinkled neck, and a diamond ring sparkled on his hand as he moved it up and down the violin. His big foot peeked out from under his gold-bordered veshti, tapping the floor to keep the beat. The teacher played a few notes, and Lalli tried to follow, but her violin sounded weak and lost. The teacher's music flowed smoothly, like a train running perfectly on its tracks. Lalli, however, kept making mistakes. Squawk! She went off track again. Suddenly, a loud voice came from the gate. Amma! Amma! "Ravi, send that beggar away," called his mother from the back veranda, where she was talking to Tapi, grandmother. "He's been coming here every day for a week. He should find another house to beg from," Pati told Tapi. Mr. and Meena followed Ravi outside. The beggar was already in their garden, acting like he belonged there. He had spread his cloth under the neem tree and leaned against it, looking like he was about to take a nap while waiting for food. "Go away," Ravi said firmly. "My Pati says you need to find another house to beg from." The beggar opened his eyes wide and looked at the children one by one. Then, in a voice full of emotion, he said, "The women of this house have been very kind. I have survived on their kindness for a whole week. I can't believe they would send me away." Then he raised his voice. "Amma! Amma ho!" His cry wasn't weak, it started deep in his empty stomach and came out loud and strong. His few remaining teeth were stained brown from chewing beetle leaves. "Ravi, tell him there's nothing left in the kitchen," Rukumani mother called out. "And tell him not to come again." She sounded tired of it. Ravi didn't need to repeat her words. The beggar had heard everything clearly from where he sat under the tree. He sighed and slowly sat up. I'll go, the beggar said tiredly. Just let me rest here under this tree. The sun is so hot, and the tar on the road has melted. My feet are already blistered. He stretched out his feet to show large, pink, peeling blisters on the soles of his bare feet. Mr. Du leaned closer to Mina and Ravi and whispered, I suppose he doesn't have the money to buy chapels. Do we have an old pair in the house somewhere? I don't know, Ravi replied. Mine are too small to fit his feet, or I'd have given them to him. His feet were bigger than Midhu's and Mina's, so their chapels wouldn't fit the beggar either. He needs something on his feet, Mina said, her big eyes filling with tears. It's not fair. Sish. Ravi hushed her. I'm thinking. Just saying it's not fair won't help. In 2 minutes, he'll be burning his feet on that road. What he needs is a pair of chapels. So where do we get them? Come on, let's search the house. He pushed Midhu and Mina inside. As soon as Midhu stepped into the veranda, her eyes fell on a pair of odd-looking chapels she had noticed when she arrived. Ravi? She whispered. Whose are those? Ravi turned and glanced at the old, but sturdy slippers. His face lit up. These are just the right size, he said, picking them up. Mr. Du and Mina followed him nervously back into the garden. Ravi dropped the slippers in front of the old beggar and said, Here, wear these and don't come back. The beggar looked at the slippers in surprise, then quickly threw his towel over his shoulder, slipped his feet into them, and left, mumbling a blessing for the children. Within moments, he had disappeared around the corner of the street. Just then, the music master came out of the house and saw Ravi, Midhu, and Mina sitting quietly under the tree, playing marbles. He didn't seem too happy with them. Then, he walked over to the veranda to put on his chapels. Music master, Lalli, he called after a few moments. Lalli quickly came to him. Music master, have you seen my chapels, my dear? I remember keeping them here. Ravi, Misradu, and Mina watched in silence, as Lalli and the music master searched all over the veranda. The music master looked over the railing, behind flower pots, and under the chairs. Music master, they were brand new. I went all the way to Mount Road to buy them. Do you know how expensive they were? They cost me a whole month's teaching fees. Lalli ran inside to tell her mother. Rukumani soon appeared, looking worried, with Pati following behind her. Pati, where could they be? It's very upsetting to think that someone might have stolen them. So many vendors come to the door? Rukumani then noticed the children sitting under the tree. Rukumani, have you children? She started, but then, seeing how suspiciously quiet they were, she asked more slowly, Seen anyone near the veranda? Her eyebrows formed a sharp V-shape, and her lips tightened. Mr. Du shivered. Oh no, Rukumani is angry, she thought. But maybe she wouldn't be so angry if she knew about the beggar's painful feet. Taking a deep breath, she quickly said, Mr. Du? Rukumani, there was a beggar here. Poor man, he had such bad boils on his feet. Rukumani. So? She asked firmly, then turned to Ravi. Did you give the music master's slippers to that beggar? Pati. Children these days. Ravi tried to defend himself. Amma, didn't you tell me about Karna? He gave away everything he had, even his gold earrings. He was so kind and generous. Silly boy. Karna gave away his own things, not things that belonged to someone else. Ravi hurriedly said, but my chapels wouldn't have fit the beggar's feet anyway. And Amma, if they had fit, would you really have minded? Rukumani scolded Ravi. Go inside this minute. She quickly went into the house and came back with a pair of nearly new chapels that belonged to Gopu Mama. Rukumani handed them to the music master and said, Here, sir. These should fit you. Please take them. I'm very sorry, me son has been very naughty. The music master's face lit up. He put on the new chapels and, though he tried to hide it, he looked pleased. Music master. These days, children have no respect for elders. What can we do? A little Hanuman in the house? Only Rama can save such a naughty boy, said the master. Rukumani's eyes flashed. She did not like Ravi being called a monkey, even if it was a holy one. She stood stiffly by the door, clearly waiting for the music master to leave. As soon as the master walked away in his new chapels, Rukumani turned to Mistry and said, Come inside and have some snacks. She shook her head and muttered, Honestly, how do you children think of such things? Thank goodness Gopu Mama doesn't wear his chapels to work. Then, suddenly, she laughed. But he's always in such a hurry to throw off his shoes and get into his chapels as soon as he gets home. What will he say when I tell him I gave his chapels to the music master? Story by Vasantha Surya, produced by Edutoons.